speak in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Now, when I was trying to apply to Oxford and Cambridge, you and I were both in those days, I was told probably a apocryphal story of a person who'd been set an essay at one of the colleges. It didn't tell us whether it was Oxford or Cambridge, but a college set an essay that said, "What is courage?" And he simply wrote, "This is." That was it. Now, I don't know if he got in, and history doesn't record, but the teacher at our school told us, this is what you have to do. Think out of the box. Be original. And be courageous. And I think I have a question for you today. From these rather odd readings, Ballam's donkey, I thought, oh great, a talking donkey like Shrek or something. But in fact, no. Ballam's donkey had courage. Because imagine if the donkey hadn't spoken. It was courage that made the donkey speak out, and confidence. The ass knew where it was in relation to God, and knew the purpose it had been given to carry his master safely, Ballam, from one place to the next. But the angel was barring the way. And even when it had been beaten, it remained behind the angel's sword. In fact, the angel said it would have saved the beast and killed the man. It was obedient to both its purpose and to God. Now, we have 2 black Labradors at home, and I think if they could speak, they'd simply say, "I want more food." So I'm not saying the donkey speaking made the donkey some wise old beast. We still say "you ass," meaning "you fool," in fact. But it's because the wisdom of God was shown through the donkey. It was the confidence the donkey had to make its mouth open that made this possible. Now, we currently have 2 students living with us. We have quite a few, but these 2 are ones I'm going to pick on today. And they're doing masters. And one of them, we have lots of PhDs as well. I'm ashamed to say I don't have a PhD, but I can handle that. I live surrounded by people with PhDs, but these 2 are doing masters. And in one way, one has the right to be confident. He's very tall, good-looking, captain at Harvard. He's a mature student, but he's already made millions in his own successful business. He was captain of rowing, I think, at Harvard. He spent time travelling, has a lot of money, he can repair anything. Whenever I say, "Oh, I've broken something," he said, "Well, I actually did a little course on that." And suddenly you come back with a plate perfect. In fact, I bought a fish tank for my daughter, and he said, "Oh yes, I used to keep tropical fish. Would you like me to have a course?" I said, "Is there really anything you can't do?" And really there isn't, actually. I haven't found it yet, except perhaps cook supper, which is what I do. But the second, equally confident young chap, was dyslexic, moved around a lot, her parents who were missionaries, so has had to make all his own money, went to several schools, which meant that friendships were quite hard to come by, and in spite of these setbacks, taught himself to row, and has grown into a tall, impressive young man. And in fact, I wondered, where did he get his confidence from? How did he pick himself up when he didn't fit in, which he sometimes didn't, when he found it hard to get on with people, which he sometimes did? Well, he speaks daily to his father, I know, on the phone. I used to do that with mine for advice. But there's something beyond that. He trusts in God, that God believes in him. He is endlessly open and positive, and draws alongside the older, more experienced students, and actually has strengthened his spiritual life as they've walked together. They're now opting to stay and do PhDs. I mean, get rid of them. Not that I mind, but there we are. The path hasn't been easy. But a very wise person told him, "You can do it." And that person was his Father in heaven. Whether you have a good earthly father or not, he is a constant. The Bible is full of people who didn't want the role God asked them to do. Because it says, "I have confidence in you." The angels appear. The burning bush, I think you've done that story. And there is Moses. "I can't do this, I'm not really a leader." "Yes, you can. You can." Mary, an angel. "You want me?" "Yes, I do." The shepherd boy. Jonah, the reluctant helper. They all have confidence in a God that will transform their lives. So do we have confidence in God? Do we? You can ask yourself that question today, because the flip side of confidence, I can tell you what that is a fear-based confidence. And I know that name, it's called arrogance. We've all met people whose confidence isn't based on what they know, but rather on who realising that he was allowing the flattering company of others and the gifts of the Moabite neighbours and ballots to blind him to the truth that all his powers were coming from God. He couldn't get around that when the donkey started to talk. I mean, if God could talk with a donkey, it didn't really mean his gifts were his own. He wasn't going to be allowed to curse the Israelites. It really was going to be a wasted journey. So the donkey speaks, because if God can make an ass speak, then it shows Balaam who is in charge. And the donkey speaks to illustrate this, that all our gifts, and let me say, a lot of you in this room have wonderful gifts, I am sure, but they're all given. I was a singer, which we heard a minute ago. I was a singer, I actually was a choral scholar. I remember my robes weren't quite as glamorous as yours. I think our college was slightly poorer. But anyway, I sang in the choir as a choral scholar for 3 years. But it was so obvious to me from when I was a very small child. This gift was not mine, it was just given. And all our gifts are in fact given. So the decisions you make in life, the donkey illustrates this. That if you aren't really listening, your gift of prophecy, like Balaam's, of hearing God's voice, you can go on the wrong way. These are holy people, he said. I have their back. I hear their voice, but you're not listening to that Balaam. You're on your own futile journey. Now, I expect the donkey as an animal was used to taking orders, and including opening its mouth. But it did save Balaam's life. And day by day, by being obedient and confident in what it was to do, I expect their relationship, by the way, on the way after that, they carried on going, didn't they? History doesn't record what Balaam said to the donkey after that, but I suspect he was kinder after that, saving his life. He had underestimated the ass. And that's the second point I want to make. Perhaps we underestimate those people around us. I mean, these communities are a great opportunity to draw alongside people you would have never met anywhere else. I don't just mean your fellow students, although I do mean that. Everybody is an opportunity to growth that we meet. I think the Queen Mother said once, if you find somebody boring, the fault is in yourself. If you find somebody boring, the fault is in yourself. And so this whole community, from porter to provost, are precious to God. And if you know that confidence, then you can be confident in drawing alongside people and treating them with the respect they deserve. And so this morning I was thinking, what is the one element you need more than anything else to succeed in life? To end up perhaps on the New Year's honours list. Yes, I did see that, celebrated. And what good it is to have a provost with that accolade or a CBE. But you know, you don't just start off in life like that. The one element you need, and I'm sure he has it in spades, is confidence. Confidence, the belief in yourself that you can do this thing. Whatever it is, solve the unsolvable equation, raise the money for that project no one else has been able to do, create the perfect picture, sonata, solve whatever it is you're working on, your theory. And perhaps you have a theory that you know will never be finished in your lifetime, but you are a key part to unlocking more. It is confidence to turn down, by the way, sometimes, the good for the better. To listen to that inner voice to guide you that says yes to it. Now, some of you here will already know that yes. That's why you're here. You've already made good choices to be sitting in this privileged place. I've lived a life of confidence because of my relationship with Jesus. And Balaam's ass became the patron saint of apologists. I don't know if you knew that. But I believe, because of this story, the ass is in particular illustrate more than anything else that God gives us the powers and helps us discern the right way to go and walk in it. It is God and not us that shows why creatures on earth matter, why we should care for those around us, even when we reach the top, or even particularly because we reach the top. That as people of privilege, as we all are here, we are especially given the task of looking after the poor, the lonely and the dispossessed. And this confidence doesn't come from nowhere. We can't force it. We can be driven and very successful, but still see nothing if we don't listen to that still small inner voice that says, I am because I am loved. I am because I am loved. also love for Balaam, presumably, that made the donkey speak too. He didn't want him killed. God didn't hear, and he knew he wasn't listening. And in fact, Balaam's eyes are only opened, intriguingly, once he's listened to the donkey. He builds his altars. I hate to tell you, he wastes his journey. It doesn't end well for Balaam or Balak, because actually the favour is with the Israelites. He can't change that fact. Now, I live a wonderfully privileged life. I have a community of amazing students I told you about. And I have children too. And we sit at the table and we have conversations that flow from Heidegger to Hegel. And my kids, they take it all in. I don't think they know what's going on, not most of the time, but they're taking it all in. Because they are part, they are included. And they see these young men come and go and make good choices. And that's what being in community is about. Being here today, incidentally, is a choice. To be here, you've already made a few good choices, as I've said. So whether you're full of faith or have none, I am here to tell you to have confidence in who you are. Know that you are loved and known by God. And know that it's not always the cleverest people at the table who are wise, but those who walk hand in hand with the Lord. It is the greatest key to success, and the reason the donkey dared to speak. Not blind confidence, but listening to God's voice. Not arrogance, but replacing that fear. If you feel you might be a bit arrogant, think, well, I can replace it with love. Perfect love casts out fear. And once we look outwards and trust that process of love, that we are loved, that's what I'm really talking about. Whether we have faith or not, that you are loved, then all those people around you, all that success, it is founded on the knowledge of love and the love of knowledge. The knowledge of love and the love of knowledge should be hand in hand, should be what the college life is about. And I have no problem, by the way, in believing in talking donkeys or angelic appearances. Why? For I believe, of course, in the greatest miracle of all, that Christ came down, rose again from the dead, and dead life speaks to us. So in a sense, the angelic theophanies that we've been given to talk about are to believe in impossible things that are now made possible on a daily basis through Christ's Spirit, to encourage us to big, better dreams and do things we never thought possible in our time on earth. So if you don't remember anything else, just remember it was courage that made the donkey speak. And confidence is what you need. Be confident. I know I keep repeating it, but I want you to let it sink in. You have one life that God's given you. So you need to go well and be full of wonder. And as we walk out among the snowdrops, and I've started to see them bravely pressing up, I love them because they are life through dead earth. A reminder that out of death, the death of winter, comes resurrection. Why did the donkey speak? He spoke because he was listened, and he saw and was obedient to God. So expect to meet God there in unexpected places, to hear the voice of those we have possibly discounted or overlooked, and those who are wiser and older and have lived longer, to be humble and realise that in the post-Enlightenment era, I believe we're entering an era of enchantment, and I'm not the only one. We see it on the rise. Maybe theophanies of angels will become common again. What a thought. And in the end, as the cliche goes, to really see, to really understand, and to really live a life of confidence and courage. Love is indeed all you need.